I always try to do intros and then I start the camera and I literally freeze and I don't say anything. I'm gonna try and make the focus of this video my new dragon print. It's the second dragon that I've done. I didn't film the drawing process in YouTube format, but you can see the Instagram reels or the YouTube shorts, whatever, of the drawing process. I am going to fix up the transfer because when I initially do the transfer with the acetone and laser printed paper, it's not 100%. I still need to fill back in some of the details so I have a better idea of where I need to carve. And then we're going to start carving, and this is probably gonna take about 2 weeks, so the filming, it's not like I'm gonna be filming every day, it's gonna be a little sporadic. I'm excited that you're here and going to follow along the process with me. I don't think I've put my phone in the same place twice in this video. I'm gonna try and do 30 minutes of printing and then 30 minutes of carving so I can get about one design done, like 10 or 12 copies of one design printed in 30 minutes. That's not true. I can do like 5 in 30 minutes. Let's try an hour of printing, 30 minutes of carving. I'm gonna try printing one design, 10 to 12 copies of one design, and then carve for 30 minutes. However long it takes me to print 10 to 12 of a design and then carve for 30 minutes. So I just printed and it's almost 3:30, so yeah, that took about an hour. That took about an hour to print 12 of the cat prints, the cat design with 2 cats. So I'm gonna carve for a little bit and then I have to go pick up Nick because he took his bike to a coffee shop and it's pretty wet and rainy outside. So yeah. Today is Thursday, the 13th, and my goal for today is to finish carving at least one of the Patreon prints. I got pretty far yesterday. I mean, pretty far. I did half the border and all the stars and the clouds on the Ace of Wands, which is pretty good. And then I made like a Instagram reel carving the title for the Bleeding Hearts plant, and this is I'm filming with my front camera so you can actually read it, but the carving is actually backwards so that when I print it, it prints the right way around, mirror image. Hopefully today I can finish carving one and then film printing as many as I can. I finished carving the tarot print block carving. I think it looks really good. I really love how whenever I do like knuckles on hands, I add little swirls, and I really loved how those turned out this time. And I think the shadow on the wand looks really good, and I really love this one. I think the soft, really squishy lino definitely allowed me to get some more of those really tiny details in there. So I'm gonna do some more printing. For Patreon, I need to print about 26 or 30, 26 to 30 for Patreon, and so my goal is to print like 36 to have some extra to take to markets and things and sell through my shop. Today is Saturday, April 15th, and I'm trimming up the tea stain paper. I'm trimming up the tea stain paper that I made on April 6th. It's about 50 sheets, I think, so this is what I'm going to be using to print the rest of the figure 1 dragon prints, and then I'll continue using it to print the figure 2, the newest dragon. And I wanted to show you what I made to just be like a little extra note to go along with the packages for any prints that get printed on this paper. I dyed the paper on April 6th, which was this month's full moon. So I made these little, hand-carved this stamp and printed them on some little tea stain paper scraps. And I know it's in reverse, so you might be able to read the stamp, but it says, "The paper for your print was dyed with Earl Grey tea and dried under the pink moon on April 6th, 2023. The pink moon is what the April 6th full moon was called. So I'll be printing any new orders on this batch of paper and including one of these little cards in the package. And the next full moon is on May 5th. And as long as it's not raining, I'm gonna try and do another batch of tea stain paper on that full moon too, which is the flower moon. And I just think it adds a little bit of extra magic to the dragon prints. Today is Tuesday, April 18th, and I've been carving for a few days. I've set up a little system for myself of 20 minutes of carving, 10 minutes of taking a break or video editing or doing something different, and that's been working really great so far. I've worked up to being able to carve 20 minutes straight through. I'm really excited for the progress that I've made so far. I'm taking turns working from the top side or the tail side. I've carved almost all of the accessory imagery, and I think this is some pretty dang good progress. Welcome to the final day of carving. I'm saying that because if I don't get this done today, obviously it's not the end of the world, but I just really want to get it done today. I stayed up a little bit extra late last night and carved as much as I can. I'm trying to get the right angle so you can see what's left. But I've got the remaining part of the spine and these two accessory images, the sea urchin skeleton and the side profile of a vertebrae. Anyways, yeah, there's literally only that much left. And it's 10:30 in the morning right now. So my goal is to have this printed by the end of the day. Okay. I just made the final cut on the carving. This is it. I'm gonna clear off my space and then do the first ink roll, and if the first print comes out satisfactory, then I'm done and I'll start printing. And if I need to go back in and trim out any little bits that maybe I forgot or just that I want to adjust, I'll do that. So here is the final print. I've printed it on white paper and on the tea-stained paper. And of course I loved the tea-stained paper. So I wanted to talk a little bit about like what is in the print itself. The main skeleton, obviously, of the sea dragon, and it's called Draconae umbramaris. And umbramaris means shadow of the sea. It's the name that me and my sister came up with. And I've got the lower jaw, a fin with scales, a eye bone, which is actually a bone that sea creatures often have in their eye, and it helps with protect their eyes against like water pressure and things like that. This is a scale from an egg, and here's what the egg would look like. Here's their harder scales from on the outside of the dragon. This is a spine, so you see the spines all along the spine, but this is like a fin spine. This is some sea urchin skeletons because I thought it'd be a cute storyline that the really spiky sea dragon is friends with little spiky sea urchins. This is the side view of one vertebra. This is the front view of a vertebrae with two rib pieces and the fin spine. This is what the ventral stomach scale pattern would look like. This is a tailbone that would be really, really tiny in the tail, and this is what the half of the tail would look like with scales on it. I did a lot of research on what actual fish bones look like and what actual snake spines look like, and I kind of mashed it together. And then the actual skull is derived from lizard skull, but I added the bony fin protrusions, and I added the horns, and the horns are actually based off of a antelope creature that I took a picture of at one point. Yeah, so I did a lot of research, actually went into, the last thing, this would be the hoard jewels of a sea dragon would be pearls. So that's what's right there, and that goes along with the same theme from the first dragon, because the jewels found within the tail of the first dragon would be its hoard jewels. At the bottom, it says CJ Barbas Del et Lino, which would mean CJ Barbas, me, drew and linocut this design. And I derived that from traditional scientific illustrations have the naturalist name Del et Litho, because they were traditionally lithographs. But I do linocut, so I changed it to lino. And then I have figure 2, Draconae umbramaris. And this is figure 2 because the first dragon was figure 1, and I think it'd be really fun one day to put these all together in a book or some sort of, I don't know, something. I want to make some fantasy maps to go along with these also, of where you could find the Draconae Iniculum, which is the fire dragon, the first one, and then another sea focused map for where you could find the Draconae umbramaris. I always post like more details of what I'm working on my Instagram. So if you're interested in future dragon projects, including maps and just more dragons in general, go check out my Instagram, and obviously subscribe and like this video so that I get some feedback on what y'all think of this series. I absolutely love it. I was obsessed with the dragonology as a kid, and that has influenced a lot of my work in general, really. But I'd love to know what you think. I'd love to know what you think of the map idea of carving and printing maps to go along with each dragon. And I am so glad you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time.